Welcome to Stop My Crisis. I'm your host, Vivian Gaspar. As many of you know, I've spent the last 8 years helping people and navigating them through homes in crisis, whether that's when to sell their home or why, or navigating them through a foreclosure process. And I could tell you, having sat in hundreds of families' homes in the last 8 years, that unfortunately one of the leading causes of needing to leave the family home, unfortunately, we all understand, is divorce. I am so fortunate to have with me today a lady who's extraordinarily experienced in and has helped many, many thousands of people navigate their ways through this aspect of challenge. My guest here today, Alena Chapman, is a best-selling author, speaker, and has mentored thousands through divorce, and is also a divorced mom of 3. And she says there's a better way. Thank you, Alena.
Hello, Vivian. I am so honored to be here. Justin Timberlake, he says, my parents divorced when I was 3. I am honestly and humbly finding out that I have a lot of issues with that. Kids grow up with what we think are scars of divorce, but it's how we handle the divorce. It's how we as the parents handle the divorce that helps the children either be very scarred or to grow up happy and successful and happy.
I've heard, having been divorced myself, that children will mirror what they see as our own reactions.
Yes.
So if we put on the brave face instead of, and it could be the euphemism of hiding under the covers and sleeping 14 hours a day, or maybe you just get so absorbed that you want to watch a lot of TV shows because you're in that imaginary world. There's many different ways to get lost in your own despair instead of teaching your children how to better cope by leading. So I know you told me there's a few tricks that you could share with our audience on how our children can feel more secure in the fact that their parents are getting divorced, but their world is not going to end.
Yes. Okay.
What are those tips?
I got it. When you are in a good place, when you can get yourself in a halfway decent place, then you have got to show your children that it's going to be okay, that mommy and daddy love them, but that they're going to be fine. And that kids worry about financial. They do. They like their activities. They like where they're going to school. They like their friends. They like feeling secure. So you also have to let them know financially you'll be okay. These are some things that I say to do. First of all, when I was going through my divorce, and mine was 5.5 years long, so I do know how hard divorce can be. But first of all, I'd have a family meeting. Every week we would have a family meeting.
Really? A weekly family meeting?
A weekly family
Did
meeting.
you make it part of your protocol?
Yeah, I did. But it was
That's
fun.
one I never thought of.
I would make popcorn. It would be fun. We would talk about things that were happening at school.
Oh.
We would talk about things that, whatever, their friends, whatever they wanted to bring up. But then I'd also bring up things about decisions that we had to make as a family in either if it was even moving, or if it was maybe cutting back here, but maybe being able to spend here. But whatever I did in those family meetings, I wanted to be supportive, I wanted to show love, and I wanted to show that it's going to be okay. Those were the 3 objectives every family meeting.
I've heard so many times, because I do have children myself of varying ages, how do you choose what to deliver to your family, your children, in an age-sensitive area? For example, we're talking right now in the aspect of having to leave a family home. So obviously stress and of course financial stress is brought on by divorce. I mean, seldom can one parent maintain a certain socioeconomic level when they're getting divorced, right?
Right.
So if they have to leave a certain neighborhood, because it's cheaper in another neighborhood, and that certainly usually affects the children's schooling, what can you say to 2 children? Do you sit down and speak with them differently? So let's say one child's a young teenager, 13, 14, 15, I don't know if there's a difference, and another one's maybe 7, 8, 9. Do you split them apart and say things differently, or do you frame it so that they're together, since it's a family meeting, and gear it toward a younger audience, and then maybe take the older one aside and give them a little bit more information? What's the better way to handle that?
The older the child is, they may not like it, but they'll also understand the logistics of, we can't afford to stay here. So if you have a child that's 13, 14, 15, definitely 15 understands. But when you have a child who is 6, 7, and 8, and this has been their school in this world, then it's a little bit of, I did it a little bit differently. The older children, I would tell. My older child, who was, he was 14. Oh, okay. And I was able to tell him, you know, we're going to have to move. This home has brought us a lot of pain in some ways, and not just me, but we went through a lot there. And also, it wasn't where we needed to be. If it was financial, I'd tell him that, but it just was where we needed to be. We couldn't be there. So what we did then was he helped me to talk to the 7-year-old.
So you enrolled the older one.
I did.
On how to speak with the younger one.
Yeah.
So did you pull him aside
I
first?
Did. I told
talk
him
to him
first.
And then tell you, we have to tell your brother?
Now, let's go ahead and what do you think we just go out and start looking at houses?
Oh.
And so we made it a game. And my older son was able to make it more of a game for my younger ones too.
Oh, that's very useful.
So everybody got excited and got into the car with the dog and everything else. And we went and just picked out houses. We didn't go in.
Oh.
We were just picking out, oh, I like that one. Or,
wait
and
a second.
they helped.
Were these houses available, or did you just pick up random houses?
No, we pick out random houses. We weren't serious
even if they weren't available.
Right. No, that wasn't the idea.
I just told my friend who was looking to buy a house and said, only like a house that's actually available to buy.
Well, we weren't there yet. We were just trying to get the possibility of moving into our heads.
I see.
And so by the time we really did find the house that we knew was good for all of us, and the kids helped with that, everybody was on board.
So it's less shocking. You didn't just go by yourself, pick out the other house and say, we're moving here. That's it. Too bad.
And parents can't be afraid. They cannot be afraid if somebody objects. Then you have to sit down and really talk to them.
Be firm,
and firm but loving, and understand that 7-year-old really has some friends they really don't want to give up. And you have to talk to them. You have to help ease them through it, because it is a big change for kids too. Well, we have to have that love and compassion.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have to have empathy as well.
Oh,
right?
Totally.
What is their perspective? What is it that they're seeing, to look through their eyes and their heart, and what fear they're feeling? As a parent, you should be comforting them instead of projecting your own fears.
And one of the
worst
worst
have to be the brave one, right?
We have to be the brave one, and we have to be the parent.
Yes, that is our job.
It is the parent.
My favorite saying is that once I became a parent, that is the singular most important job I will ever have.
It is. It truly is.
I want to just ask you for a parting comment, because we're really run out of time.
Oh, sure. Yes.
If you could just give one more tip.
Oh, I will.
On how to make kids feel more secure, what would that be?
You know, little notes. And little
like
treats.
The stickies?
Yeah, little stickies. Now, my school, you're able to go inside and stick it on their locker. If you're not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but if you can't, put it in their lunchbox.
And what if they have school lunch?
Well, put it in their coat. Put it on their mittens. Put it somewhere. And just say, honey, I am so proud of you. Just very uplifting. And do it like, don't do it every day, because then it won't be a surprise.
Right, it won't be special.
Yeah.
It removes the special component.
Yes, and they love it if you say, I hope you do really well on that test. And little things like that help the kids say, she's really thinking of me, or he's really thinking of me. It's big, especially when their life is changing.
Excellent. Alena, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm so happy
Remember,
to be here.
if you have children and you're getting divorced, the most important thing is, as much stress and strain and anxiety that you're feeling, help your child see their world through their eyes. Remember to keep the compassion, and that it's so important to them to feel more secure. And you might be crumbling on the inside, but they're suffering as well. Keep your children and what they're feeling close to your heart.